And I envy no other man, because I think what one man does, I'm able to do, so I don't have to envy him. But there is a limit to what a man can take, especially if you have 6 children who are growing up. And when somebody consistently tries to pick on your father, I say, well, what is this man doing? Why would you? I mean, people call me and say, 30 million again? Well, what is that? What you did with this money? What happened? I said, come here, arrest you for 30 million. My sister in New York calling me. I said, 30 million? I didn't do anything with 10 million. 10 million is with the World Food Program. The other tragedy about this is that the World Food Program hears this gossip. People in the Ministry of Finance know that the minister is writing letters using the money currently. They sit on school and hear all this garbage, and nobody has the audacity to say, hey, stop this. Minister Gaffman approved this money just this March. Why are you talking about cemetery and this money? That's why I said, what kind of society we live in today? When people in our political parties, in our churches, in our media institutions, in our government know the honest truth. When the people who are writing a letter for Minister Gaffman know, and they're not able to call school and say, you are lying, I just drafted a letter for this money. You can't stand up to it. Why do we do this? So that's the conversation we're going to have today with the media people. And particularly you media people. What is your standard for verifying information? It's an honest conversation. President, we have signed the Table Mountain Law, no, it's not Table Mountain, the Abla Camara, that give you guys the right to say many things. But there is a limit to which you can lie up somebody. So Mr. Sprinkle Waterspoon will have to tell us in court who told him that I took 30 million and which government is coming to arrest me for 30 million, for which he has now made, and to me now, to everything, and maybe the whole 22 million Liberians down here for 30 million, and my name is in there. So it is only the vindication through court. I will compare Mr. Wilson to say something and repent so that the public knows that the journalists or the commentators on social media have a responsibility to truth in our democracy. We want to fight corruption, we want to transform the country, but we should do so honestly. We cannot destroy other people in our classes. Alright? The falsification that goes on spoon has to be challenged. Just the other night, the man played my Amuto Ken song. Oh, Amuto Ken, oh. He's playing the Amuto Ken song and saying that song was because of President Weah's visit to President Biden. Oh, I sang that song when Liberia passed the MCC scorecard. That's why I sang that song. I said, we qualified. The 500 million that should have come to this country, I was celebrating for my country. That this government was inheriting. That eventually it may happen 4 or 5 years from now. It was that song. So when you hear that song in the public, anytime spoon plays it, link it with the 500 million that will come at some point in the future. That's the celebration I was doing. We mischaracterized that and put it in the form of. So it's a propaganda outfit. It's unfair. They do valuable work. Many of the panelists, I have friends on the show, I think they will morally do the public right if they have to objectively raise the standard of their truth telling. If they're not sure about something, then they need to verify before bringing it out. So when we go to court, my lawyers have told me, I think my case will meet the strongest test of libel. So we're going to fight that legal battle with Mr. Witherspoon. It's not this, I'm not attacking the spoon now, I'm attacking Mr. Witherspoon. He has an agenda personally for 4 years, consistently impugning my reputation in the public when he has no basis for doing so. Thank you. I'll take your questions.
So at this time, Congress, the questions and answers period will be very, very, very rigid. Call the names of the institutions that you're representing, call your name as well, and then go straight to what has been read and said here. Anything outside of that? Yeah, the first question. Yeah, please, you are only asked, you are allowed to ask a question, just a question. Because of time, the number of people here will
Yeah?
Yes, bro.
I'm Obadiah Johnson, I report for Front Page Africa newspaper. Good afternoon, Mr. Tweah. You served as Liberia's finance minister at the time the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank respectfully contributed the amount of 25 million United States dollars and 5 million each to Liberia and its citizens for COVID-19 stimulus package. Don't you think it's prudent enough that you submit submit yourself to any pending investigation, since in fact you actually headed the country's finance ministry at the time. And what do you think your name is actually linked or implicated in? What do you think is prudent that you submit instead of crying over this time? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Honorable Tweah, my name is Matthias Labindi. I'm from Sky Communications, Liberia. Mr. Tweah, thank you for your presentation. Do you trust the court system in Liberia, the judicial system in Liberia, under the workers' administration, which you are going to use to vindicate yourself? In which court are you going to file a lawsuit against Stanton Witherspoon in Liberia or in the US, since it's not residing in Liberia?
Next question.
So thank you. My name is Hagar Gonda and I report for Freedom FM. Honorable Minister, former Minister, I should say, I'm interested in knowing that all of what you've said and considering the efforts of the government in going after some past government officials. Why do you think all of these things are happening? Because there are speculations in the public that the government is apparently not seeing a way through, and as such, they want to play some tactics by bringing on, coming on some former officials of the CDC administration. Why do you think you are always in the news for these kind of allegations?
Next question.
Okay, I'm saying I report for the National Radio and Television.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the silence of the war food program. Since you, in fact, you said the money is directly with the war food program, why is it they haven't broken silence over this issue?
So thank you. So we'll close the first chapter and then.
Thank you. These are very good questions. That's why I'm here. Would you submit yourself to, listen, I'm a patriotic, law-abiding citizen. I will submit myself to any investigation, legitimate or bogus. Let's get it clear. Any legitimate or bogus investigation, I will respond, because as a citizen, you have to respect authority. If the police came for you, you can't put water in the face and slap them, even if I did nothing. I could be sleeping in my house and police say I didn't sleep in my house, I did something that they come for me, I will go to the station. That's not the question. So, I'm just giving the public that there is no basis for involving someone for anything like this. So let's say the government has seen the 25 million report, which I share with you, for the money we give them. And let's say people in the government are not satisfied. Who do you think is the first person that you want to contact? You have to contact the World Food Program, because one of the reasons why we gave the money to the World Food Program was that we did not want another situation where we would politicize it. If we want to politicize it, let's go and politicize it with the World Food Program. Because the World Food Program will receive that money. No Liberian official has access to World Food Program's bank accounts. They control the expenditure. There was a National Steering Committee chaired by Minister Wilson Tapper. I was on the Minister of Agriculture on there. They were just administering steering things. They were not involving operational matters. So we're receiving all of these reports. The purchasing of rice, the distribution of rice were left solely with the World Food Program, because they have the global expertise and the experience to do that work. So if there is a problem with the spent portion, there are two portions now. Spent nearly 28 million, unspent 2 million. If we have problem with the 28 million that was spent by the World Food Program, then it's prudent that the government investigate. But as I know right now, there is no asset to recover on the 30 million, because the World Food Program has reported that it spent every dime legitimately, has given a report to the government. The government has not challenged that report, except it is trying to do so. But if it's trying to do so and launch an investigation, the investigation will begin with the World Food Program. If you ask me in that investigation, Mr. Tweah, what do you know about the 25 million? This is what I'm saying now to the public. I know that we agree with the IMF that I will put the money in the World Food Program account. The 5 million will come from the World Bank. We don't control World Bank finance. The ministers of finance don't control monies that leave World Bank account. World Bank project money goes directly from World Bank to directly from World Bank to the World Food Program, and it goes from the World Bank to other recipients of World Bank money. We don't sign on those. There is a framework at the Ministry of Finance, but the ministers are not involved in that distribution. So that's what I can say on the 25, and broadly on the 5. But there is an unspent portion. Maybe there was this rumor, and I'm telling you, somebody even told me that maybe I received this $2 million and gave World Food Program 300,000 of it. So those are the rumors that are circulating. Or maybe the man received the 2 million anyway and he grabbed World Food Program with 300 million. So the person who asked the question, why, and I will link that question, why is World Food Program silent? I think that's the best question here for the day. That's the best question. Why is the World Food Program silent? The World Food Program should issue a statement. The public is not informed about, maybe they're going to issue a statement because I've had the press conference. That's why I came here. And so this whole thing is dead because the World Food Program is now going to take ownership. Wait, listen. Are you saying that we stole the 28 million? Is the government trying to attack us? Is the asset recovery team trying to impugn our reputation? That's for World Food Program and asset recovery. Now, I don't, listen, let's be careful. I have not been invited by the government. Let's be clear. The government has not written me. The government has not contacted me. I have heard this through Stanton Witherspoon. So let's be clear. I am not accusing the government. Through Stanton Witherspoon, I heard I will be arrested. It will be up to Mr. Witherspoon who told him that Samuel Tweah was on an investigation and will be arrested. That's where he will explain that in court. And he will meet his sources. But I don't think I have a force with the government now because no letter has been written me. Maybe the government knows why. But why all of that? People are speculating on this and destroying my reputation. My sister and family people are calling me. So this is why I have to put stop to this. Yeah. The other question was, do you trust the court system? Let me say you one thing. If you ask me this question before our war, I'll tell you no. Because we had a Liberia where we had a country governed by men, the will of men. We never had a democracy. There was no auditing, or auditing was manipulated by the government. Anyway, there was no accountability, there was no transparency before the war. If you ask me the question, I will say no. If you ask me the question now, since Madam Salif, not sure our democracy took it to a level, Dr. George Weah took it to a new zenith. Those two presidents combined protected the rule of law and nurtured our democracy, such that I believe that I'm not afraid of the imperial presidency because what judges and courts have seen, we have a democracy where even the judge has an independence that is unprecedented in this country, and the president can do nothing about that. In the 1980s and 1970s, maybe President Tauber will call you and put you in jail. President Doe will send for the judge and say, you do that, I will go kill you. Today, no president can harass any judge. Judges are at the crucible of our transformation today. And so I trust the judicial system because of this fact. Had I not trusted the judicial system, I would not have come from Ivory Coast to face trial. Because I believe, you know what made me brave? To walk knowing people wanted to arrest me? Is the fact that I believe the rule of law is prevailing. And that while there were those who wanted to arrest me, there were equally those in the Unity Party who knew that an arrest of me would be unjust. And so there would be some tension. That tension would never exist in the 1980s before the war. And so I said, I'm coming under the jurisdiction of the court. I'm not fleeing justice. I'm coming for justice. You cannot be arresting me when I come for justice. And so on the basis of that, on the basis of my trust of the judicial system, I entered the country and I went and submitted myself to criminal court C, and I remain under the judiciary. If any government official, if this government wants to manufacture any bogus charge and believe that they just want to arrest me, maybe what I need to do is just buy one hanger and just come here. Today I should just put a hanger on me, let them get a picture, put it on the internet, and let it submit to it because maybe that's what they want. So just put me in hanger and say we'll carry you in jail. They are liberty to do so. I'm not afraid of going to jail. I'm afraid of going to jail for the wrong reason. I will leverage my ability to go to jail anytime for the right reason. If you lie on me and I prove and the public believe, I will sleep in jail. So I'm not afraid of jail. So I trust the judicial system. That's your question. That's your answer. Why government wish something? Well, I mean, that's the same thing we're talking about. I mean, but President William took office, one of the things people say, oh, the country is fragile. The challenges of the Liberian people are massive. This government can solve the challenge of Liberian people. Nobody, I'm not lying to you. One of the things we need to do in our politics now is to say, listen, let's be honest and let's level with the Liberian people. What problems are we able to solve and what problems are we not able to solve? Amos Tweah called me earlier, they said, Tweah, why are we having debates about, why is our debate about salary payment? I find it troubling, Tweah. Most of the discussion are about trivial things in the country. I say the reason that is because the politicians do not want to be honest with the Liberian people. So when government salary delay 5 days, we politicize it just to say, look, salary will delay because of many different reasons. Revenue is not in the government account. But when we politicize all these things to move one party from power, the party that left from power will politicize the same thing. We are fighting over road. This government, our government, secure all financing of all road networks in the country, major road network. Let me tell you. I signed on the president. We are a 10-year electricity financing. 10 years for the World Bank. So that means, forget about President Bwaka. The financing for the president who will be elected 2029, I signed it. It's a 10-year financing. I signed it as Minister on the President. We are. So that guaranteed 10 years of financing. So 6 years, 10 minus 6 are how many years? So the next president will enjoy 4 years. So don't worry about this rescue. The next president will think President We are. If President We are will think himself. The point I'm making is that let's leave the trivial politics. The fundamental questions that bring one now is that Liberians, why we don't have jobs? Liberians, why our budget is 650 million and it's not 1 billion? Sierra Leone budget is 1.5 billion. Cote d'Ivoire budget is 27 billion. Ghana budget is 20 billion. Why is it that Liberia's budget just hangs around 600? And let me tell you that when we say 800 million, the partners bringing 150 there. Your raw domestic, the money yourself bringing here, that's 650, 675. That's it. That's the problem. So if every politician will be fighting in this, so listen, y'all listen to Senator Duncan, the senator on Southern County. He's raising an interesting debate in the country that we all need to pivot to. He's saying, if we hunker down 600, the government's salary right now, the government's wage bill right now is bloated. The government wage bill is exploding beyond almost $340 million in the government. When you take $350 million from 600, what's left there? The debt you owing all the international people plus domestic CBL debt. I may get wait. In fact, let me tell you about CBL. CBL can wait. As soon as your money can, whether you get negative, can CBL take it. When you go there, because so CBL will ask Minister of Finance why don't take the money, because in agreement with the IMF, all money we owe to the bank will have to be paid on time. There's no delay. So you pay the CBL, you pay your debt, you pay the World Bank. You need around 125 million every year for that. Okay, you're talking about 675. Then the government running itself, you need what? If you get a government 100 million in the government will bring that because 100 million is small to run the government. So what are you doing? You only start talking about electricity, roads here. What you do? So everybody killing themselves around the 650 million, and we think we're doing something here. The president should reach out to the former president and say, my man, listen, I know we have our spy, but I'm rising. Maybe he's leading that direction because I see him going towards the reconciliation of the past. Maybe he will come to the reconciliation of the present. So it's a phase process. Yeah, no. So you don't rush the old man. He's dealing with the past, and he's right. Let's deal with talk, but these are overhanging issues. He's saying, we are sitting now with me. Everybody here, we deal with the reconciliation. And reconciling him means when people do wrong, you shouldn't go after them. No. It said, my man, under your government, you did it wrong. I will prosecute it. But my man, you did this good on the government. Let's continue to move the country forward. Let's forget our past. Let's forget our bitterness. You were president, I'm president. So maybe the president has an agenda for the now. But I will not speak for him. But that politics of witch hunt It's not going to get the country anywhere. Because what Liberians have seen, let me tell you, one of the reasons why we lost this election is there were Liberians who, there's a fraction of Liberians. I mean, 17,000 separating the two parties is exactly, you can see that the country is split evenly. But the stubborn Liberians who were made to believe and lied to that we took NGO jobs away, that it was because of President Weah that the economy was declining. I don't care you gave them $50 million. They wanted this experiment to see what would happen after if George Weah were not president. They made a difference for the Unity Party. They are the most frustrated and the most disappointed now because they know deception took them away from the reality. So that is what we have to deal with now. So next set of questions.
Thank you. At this time, comrades, before the next set of questions, permit me quickly to recognize the global chairman. Manda!
Where do?
Manda!
Where do?
Manda!
Where do?
National
Yo!
chairman.
What does Usuru say? Yo! Yo!
Yo!
Yo!
Chairman, what party?
The party live with easy. Yo! Yo!
Yo! Thank you. So, we are pleased to announce the presence, the arrival of the chairman of the Indomitable Matter Coalition for Democratic Change.
So! That's Usuru.
Retired Student General, Secretary General, the Chairman of Committee. So at this time, comrades, the game will come to the second batch. Yeah, please don't be repetitious. Second batch. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Daniel Sonny. I report for Tweah.
Okay.
Honorable, you talked about those who would think that the government is also in your regime, what you have done. The question is, what now those information are coming out?
What now those information are coming out?
I will not wait on a question.
Yeah, okay.
Because this question I will not rest. I will not let it rest.
Okay.
You see, and that's the question that people are saying.
What now?
We said all these things. We fought. We fought. We provided everything we are saying today. If you go back to all my clips, you can play all my clips for the last 6 years. You will hear this same argument I'm making throughout. But when people were bent on lying the way to power, they will ignore any reality we constructed. People, you think harmonization, you think our Minister of Finance, you think President Weah, you think we take pleasure in fixing a broken wage system at our own detriment? You think so? When we are faced with the realities that if you don't do so, Mr. President, your government has a lifespan of 2020. All the partners who brought money here before 2018 took their hands off and say, well, the time is now for you to take care of yourself now. We've been taking care of you. You're due. Mr. Minister, that wage over there, European Union, American tax dollars should not be going to finance one person making, one nurse making, or one director making $200 Minister of Agriculture, and our same director with the same skill making $2,000 somewhere. That's a waste of our money. If you cannot end this unfairness, you will have problem in getting international support. And you're talking about 2019. And so what choice of the president had? The president had to fix the country. Fixing the country is not a palatable thing. It's a hard choice. Liberians don't know it. They just want the result. So we had to confront the reality. And you see, the propaganda about harmonization is that harmonization was not about increasing or about decreasing salary. No. And listen, I'm telling you again, because you will come back and ask this question 2 years. I'm telling you, they will tell you what I'm telling you harmonization, there were two systems. There's a basic salary system, and there was a general allowance system. 40,000 to 47,000 Liberians were paid under a basic allowance. 25,000 Liberians. The other thing, they told you, said the wage bill, when we came to power, there were around 67,000 Liberians on the payroll. That's the other lie they told you. They told you, so we added 25,000 persons on the payroll. We clarified all those things. People still didn't hear it. All right? So there were 67,000 persons on the payroll when we came. 25,000 of them were getting paid on general allowance. What is a general allowance system? Samuel Tweah today hired his brother and pay his driver $2,000. No system. The way, as I feel, I give it to you. You call your own salary. I said that before. You call your own. How much I'm going to pay you? I mean, you give me 3,000. The general allowance system pays you. Whereas the people on basic allowance salary, the average of $200, $300 they're making. It was unfair. We were confronted with these statistics and we took the tough decision. And no government, not just this government, the next 50 years, the government cannot reverse it.
Yo, when you reverse the harmonization, the country will collapse. Yo.
You cannot, because under harmonization, the judiciary is now paying taxes. You know, I love the judiciary, I love the judges, but they always argue with me. You know, we don't have anything, Minister. I said, but even in America, Your Honor, the judges pay taxes in America. Why should judges or why should people in the judiciary? So there were no taxes. So if you're reversing harmonization, you will make sure the judiciary does not pay taxes. Let me ask Mr. Gaffron when you see him the next time whether he will make sure the judiciary will not pay tax. If he does that, then you know you reverse harmonization. So you cannot reverse. So it's not even a debate. It's not even a discussion. The plans President Weah, the things President Weah did for this country. Look, I will tell you one story. The other day, Timolin George, the boy on a closing argument, called me. He said, "Oh, Tweah, I saw Senator McGovern. He was praising you." Senator McGovern is the chairman of the House Committee on the Human Rights Committee, the people who do the human rights thing. He said, "I saw the paper to a cookout." He said, "I met your finance minister, a brilliant guy." Then I told him, I said, "Yes." You know what I may remember me? You remember me because the men were bombarding me with propaganda. The congressmen were bombarding me. We had a 15-minute Zoom call. He started telling me, he said, "Well, your President Weah wanted to run for life, so he changed the constitution. He did the referendum so that he could run the first fight, but then he was going to make sure he run for 12 years, so he will run for 12 two 5-year terms plus a 6-year, and that's a whole design. That's what we've been told." Damn it, I said, "Yeah, what?" I told Senator McGovern, I said to McGovern, "That's propaganda, that's a lie. This is the only president who wants to have his first term will be 6 years because laws are not retroactive. But when the referendum is passed, his second term will be 5 years. So he will serve for 11 years. And that's why he's then." He said, "But that's not what we've been told. I've been seeing all kinds of damaging reports. That's not what they say here." You know what the man told me? He said, "You got to come to Washington every week." Congressman McGovern. So I told Timolin George, I said, "That's why he remembers me. Because I was there fighting." Yeah, I was there fighting. The other congressmen they brought the auditor's death. I mean, all the lies. That's how Koji got sanctioned. Koji is harmless. Jefferson Koji. I've known him from baby. He can do no harm. But today, Koji is on the human rights sanction. The human rights sanction is not like even the corruption sanction. When American people tell a sanction, the human rights came from Russia. That many is, but the Russian abuse is the most dangerous sanction. You put Jefferson Koji on the human rights version of that sanction, amen. We got to fight. We got to fight and get him out of there. So what happened was that there was a barrage of propaganda every day confronting all U.S. Congress. And we were sitting here. I was sitting here and focused. The economy was crumbling. I've kidding myself with the IMF. The guys are burying us on our side. By the time we went there to fight the minister, my man, damn it, finish here. Damn it, finish. So that the damn it we live in, some of us will live in through. But we come through it. We're made for this battle. We're made. Even the Americans know the extent to which people lie on us. Yeah. They know the reality. They're seeing it now. So the question now is, what is fundamentally wrong?
Yeah, Tweah and Nelson Collette.
Yeah, Nelson. Yeah.
As we speak, there are divided opinions in the country.
All right.
At the moment, ex-officials of government have been accused on several counts,
Yeah.
including you.
That's correct.
Dragged to court. Some of them are put behind bars as well. Nigerians are divided. Some people think that this is a straight fight against corruption by this administration, while others see it as the witch hunt. There are others who are equally blaming this administration for not prosecuting past officials of government with this government. Do you think there was a missed opportunity on the part of the CDC government to rigorously prosecute ex-officials of government? And then the final question is, what will you do differently if you were to assume that position again as finance minister?
Let me answer the first question about prosecuting. The greatest contribution of President Weah I will argue in his 6 year, I will not say his roads. I will not say a free tuition. President Weah's greatest contribution is the establishment of an LACC that should independently go after the evidence that is vested with prosecutorial powers. For the first 12 years under President Salih, LACC was a toothless bulldog. They could not move. Who empowered, who institutionalized, who changed the law and gave LACC's power to such an extent that the President of the Republic of Liberia cannot singularly dismiss the head of LACC. He has to seek concurrence from the national legislature, the Senate. Who wrote that law? George Weah. So if you think George Weah was afraid of fighting corruption, he would not have strengthened the LACC the way he did. What we want in the country is not witch hunt. It's to go at the evidence. When you present the evidence that shows somebody does wrong and they steal government money, they go to jail. When you manufacture it, like the way I'm explaining, you come in for Samuel Tweah to put in jail for COVID-19 money that he didn't spend, Samuel Tweah will win that case. You will get some appreciation for going to arrest Samuel Tweah. But sooner rather than later, the majority of the people will soon know that you went after Samuel Tweah for the wrong reason, and so your fight was bogus. So we need authentic fight against corruption. As a minister of finance, you coming after me, you gotta be prepared. And I say that for all ministers of finance. I say that for Gafon, I say that for Amara. Because ministers of finance are not spending ministers. They are appropriating ministers. That's why that's the difficulty. I gave the national elections 4 million more than they needed because of the national emergency. You can't put me in jail because I gave them 4 million, or you go ask them the 4 million that Tweah gave you that were not on budget, did you use it for election or did you eat it? And they told you say they use it for election, then you can't arrest Tweah, say Tweah gave them 4 million not in the budget. They are the accounting entity. That's it. So this fight, people look at it and say people are fishing. People are fishing. We are fishing. I don't want to, I will not talk about the case that is before the justices, I told you. But there is a fishing expedition on the national security front. It's all fishing. I will tell you, if the government has a legitimate case of corruption or any of our officials who embezzle public money, that official should go and put the money back. President Weah will support that, and when he comes back to power, we'll take the fight against corruption to the next level. But it's not going to be on the basis of which one. It's not going to be on the basis of scoring political points that you arrest certain number of individuals so you have succeeded, whereas corruption is even more massive in the current administration. So you can do that. A former finance minister you're talking. I know. You fight finance minister, I know everything about the state. I'm a member of the National Security Council. I'm vested with important state secrets. I can tell you, President Bwaka, right now, I can tell you, if I open my mouth here, but I will not do so, I'm sworn to secrecy.
Begging you not put the secret outside, when you do it, not rebury again, Thank you. The last questions. The last question.
Yes.
Yeah, brother, over there.
My next point,
Yeah.
okay, so my question is, if this COVID-19 money they are talking about, was there a full audit conducted? If so, where and when is the report?
Was there a full audit? I don't. Okay, the COVID. Let's say the COVID-19 report. COVID, our 2020, right? So we gave the money, and then 2022 July, they brought the money. I don't believe the report has been audited. So we have to. The GSC or the current finance minister and the government got to find a way to audit. One of the challenges is we have. You see, that auditing with even the legislators. People accuse. Look at Paul Wimmer. Legislators was one of the poorest institutions. They were so struggling. Money for census does not go to legislators. It goes to the what do you call them? The Central Basket Fund under UNFP. UNFP is the one that receiving all the census money. So where will legislative officials come from to take census money when the Minister of Finance, everybody else putting it under the UNFP, we didn't get access to the account. So if you say we take legislative money, then it means that the UNFP and the UN people give it to us because they alone can withdraw their money. How come? So people have to, our Liberian people have to understand these things. If somebody is accusing people of corruption, you have to know, okay, what kind of system you're accusing the man of? There's a bank account. Who are the signatory? Those are the questions you ask. Where the signatory are with the United Nations people. But then how will legislative people take the money? World Food Program, money is with the World Food Program. How will Minister Tweah, how will the CDC government people, officials, and no official ever did anything around money in World Food Program? They go withdraw the money and go buy things. How? So I support you. I think there's a challenge with auditing the UN. And that's something that began, we brushed that conversation. We had the Controller County General, yeah. I mean, this man here, commission, worked with the audit of the payroll. The payroll audit you hear them talking about, look, all the work of this government was done by President Tweah. There is no substantive, there is no new area. The new area, the only new area I see for this administration is not where we solve wage problem. That was harmonization, that was payroll audit, all that ghosting with Baton Newswire, all that stuff. We solve all the problem. So you coming after us, it's like you can spend your best talent on that area now. Open new field. The field they have to open is how do businesses get loans in the country. Now somebody tell you, don't coach the people, don't pay them, don't get a free environment because won't be there. But sometimes I put my patriotic hat on. They have to fight to see how Liberians get up the money and find job. Their challenge is not how to pay government on time. Their challenge is not harmonization. We took the heavy beating for all of that. The challenge is how does the private sector get more loan from banks? All the banks sitting down on the money, they only want import rice, they only want import oil. What does the Ministry of Finance do? We could not attend to that question sufficiently because we dealt with the macro stability for the first 1.5 years. Then we're hit with COVID for 2 years. By the time we balance now, we call our judicial conference and the people say election coming. Our second term was going to be around the full implementation of the jobs agenda. How do you put jobs? That was the thing. Then the Liberian people got confused with lie and propaganda. We say, okay. And there's a reason. I tell my citizen people, y'all sit down. There's a reason. Do you know what would have happened in this country had we won the election and people come back? You know what? God, sit down. Let them come. Now the Liberian people see, so the point get a solution. At the same time, Tweah and we are doing here, doing the bluffing. Maybe we are not get a solution. Now we're coming back, President. We're not coming back on the 2017 agenda. The agenda is to solve the jobs problem. So Liberian must listen to the solution. I thank you.